Maggie May. Join us as we follow the moon. Now today, we're starting our part 2 of Northern Kentucky. If you missed the first part, we'll put a link to it right up here. But we're starting off today in Bardstown, Kentucky, and we're actually starting off at the oldest bourbon whiskey bar in existence. So come along and take the tour with us.
Thanks.
Now we ended our last video at Bernheim Arboretum, and it was right across the road from Jim Beam. But as you go through northern Kentucky, you'll see Heaven Hill, which is a major distillery. You'll find all different distilleries in the area. You go into any store and you'll find barbecue sauces, you'll find candies, you'll find anything to do with bourbon. And Bardstown is supposed to be the bourbon capital of the world. When you first drive into town, you'll see the big black buildings where the kegs are aged. And when you get downtown, you'll see the historic Talbot Tavern. Now this is, I'm told, haunted.
Yes.
And it's an inn as well as a tavern.
And they had good food.
Yeah, they did. We did have lunch there. This opened in 1779, and it is the world's oldest bourbon bar. So we wanted to bring you over here and show you what the world's oldest bourbon bar looks like.
It was very cool.
It was very cool. Now upstairs, above the bourbon bar and above the restaurant, is the Jesse James room. And the Jesse James room is kind of neat from the historical side, that there are bullet holes that you'll see right there in that wall. This wasn't always the quiet, peaceful village. But you also notice on those walls, there were murals on those walls. Here you'll see a figure above the fireplace. The one just to its left is a volcano. And this building, even though it was built in 1779, underwent a horrific fire in 1998 that destroyed a good share of the building. There's pictures of what it looked like originally. There are pictures of the fire. And that's how they have preserved what's left of those murals. Preserving their history.
It's pretty amazing to look at them.
It really is. And that room is always open. You can go in the tavern, go up the staircase. It's at the top of the staircase. They invite you to go up and examine it. Now, leaving Bardstown, just a short drive, you go to Loretto, Kentucky. And that's the home of Maker's Mark. And Maker's Mark, as you go into town, you'll see all of those brick buildings. You'll see the 3 miles to the distillery. Maker's Mark was founded in 1953. And the original family, the Samuels family, was in the distilling business. And when Prohibition came, they closed. And so the business came back alive with Bill and Margie Samuels, Bill Sr. And the grounds are just amazing here.
They sure are. Look at the gardens.
That's paying homage to the farmland that was here before the distilling business really kind of took over this whole property. This is a new area where you wait for your tours. There's Bill Sr. and Margie, and they really were a couple in this business. They burned the family recipe. Bill Sr. didn't like the taste of it. He got rid of the rye out of it and made a softer, smoother bourbon. Now the machine on the right is what mashes the grain. The distiller is there in the corner, and those are the actual stills. This is as the yeast starts fermenting. You'll see the big bubbles in that. This is one that's been going for a little bit longer, and each of those wooden barrels is 10,000 gallons that the yeast is working on.
That's amazing.
Now those are labels that have been used on different Maker's Mark's products, but this is how the labels are still cut to this day. Back a turn of the century, 100-year-old machine that cuts the labels. It's a lot of tradition in this particular distillery. Margie wanted all the buildings to be uniform, so because the rick buildings were black to create heat for the aging, all of them are black with red shutters. This is one of the rick buildings where the barrels are stored. It's 6 stories high. They are kept in their original position for 3 years, and then they're rotated highest to lowest for anywhere from 5 years and 7 months to 7 years, depending upon the heat and the climate at that time. Now the building you see on your left is a cold building. It's built into the side of that hill, all stone. And the tops are taken off the barrels and different wooden staves are put inside. And this is where Maker's 46 comes from. Those staves give it a particular flavor, and it's cold aged in here for up to 9 weeks. There they were actually rolling new barrels over in there for its aging.
And they said that was a rarity that you'd see them do that.
That's right. This is where they test those to make sure it's got the flavor that they want. Now this particular entry right here was kind of to pay respect to Margie. Margie had a a pewter collection. And pewter was known for having its Maker's Mark embossed on the bottom of it. That made it the quality, and that's where the name for this bourbon came from. She also became the reason it has the red wax on the top. This is their bottling. It's all done automated. And here you'll actually see the red stoppers going up the line where it's all stopped by automation, but they are all still dipped by hand in 250-degree red wax, just like Margie used to do to every single bottle when they first opened.
Reminds me of Lucille Ball and
Ethel.
Ethel, that's right.
But 4 people do that throughout the shifts. They can't do it for more than 2 hours at a time because they don't want them to get overly tired. And then air is blown on them to where the wax sets, and they're boxed and ready for shipment. The tour ends with a tasting, and the tasting was of regular 90 proof Maker's Mark, of the cask strength Maker's Mark, Maker's 46, the cask strength Maker's 46, and then a special blend that is done routinely for other companies, other liquor stores and things like that want to have their own special Maker's Mark. Those were actually the 5 different variations that we got to try. They also have some other limited editions. Those special ones that are done for different companies, they have one there called Community. That's samplings of each of those put together. From there you go into the gift shop, and not only do they have Maker's Mark, but they have glasses, they have t-shirts, they have cheese boards, you name it, anything with the Maker's Mark logo and brand on it. They have one other thing here that you won't find anywhere else. And that is, you can buy Maker's Mark without the red wax, like what you see here. The reason is, once you've purchased it, you can bring your bottle over here to the side. They will show you exactly how to do it, and you're given protective gloves so you don't get burnt in the hot wax, but you dip it straight down, you twist it around twice, and then they've got an area with cold air that comes up where you set it to cool. So you can take your bottle, dip it, twist it, and let it cool and get its distinctive drips. Well, Kathy, we got to enjoy more of the history of Northern Kentucky, and bourbon's definitely been a big part and a big tradition in that area.
Absolutely.
And the Talbot Tavern and Maker's Mark. And what did you think overall of Northern Kentucky?
It was great. It was really, like you said, there was so much to learn about. I had no idea.
There's a lot of really rich heritage in the area. A lot of beautiful area to go to.
Oh, yeah.
The hikes and everything that we got to do. Definitely time well spent. And if you haven't had Northern Kentucky on your radar, it's a good thing to put on your radar.
Absolutely.
It
yeah.
was time well spent. With that, we would like to thank you all for joining us today. If you liked the video, leave us a thumbs up. That's the best thing we can ever get. And if you haven't yet subscribed to our videos, please do so and ring that notification bell, and that way you'll know each time we have a new video come out.
And thank you for following us as we follow the moon.
Thanks for watching today.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel.
And be sure to ring the notification bell so you'll know when new videos come out.
Don't forget to follow us on social media too.